Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Tinted Mirrors. So just to give a background, Tinted Mirrors is a series that explores beauty and self-image from a cultural and racial standpoint. So during these interviews, I basically just ask people from different cultural backgrounds to talk about some of their experiences with makeup and identity while they do the makeup that makes them feel the most confident in themselves. So today's guest, Serena Saunders, so kindly offered to talk about her life as an African-American woman and her ideas about beauty and self-confidence. So I hope that you guys enjoy and stay tuned for some more Serena. Bye!
Awesome. Hi, I'm Serena Saunders. I'm a junior public policy major at the University of Maryland. I come from a very diverse cultural background. My mom is from Suriname. My dad is Black and from New Jersey. Very mixed, culturally. But I identify as Black first and foremost, as a woman of color. I just really like makeup, and I'm really glad to be a part of this project.
So the first question is, why do you put on makeup, and what does it mean to you?
Yeah, I put on makeup because I like the routine of it. It's very soothing, knowing that I can wake up in the morning and have something to do before I get my day started and stuff. So that's really nice. What does it mean to me? I think it's a form of self-expression, but also in a basic sense, it means that I feel a little more confident in myself, even if it's just a little powder or a little mascara. It kind of gives me that boost that I need to get my day started.
Is beauty important in your culture, and what are the defining traits of beauty in your culture?
Yeah, so I am a bit mixed. My mom is from Suriname, my dad is from New Jersey. So I'll speak to Suriname first. In terms of what beauty means in our culture, it's very important to always look your best, no matter what time of day it is, no matter where you are, just because you never know who you're going to see. That's kind of the Surinamese thought. My dad is Black, and beauty takes a lot of different forms in the Black community, and that's something that I really like. I think on both sides of my family, beauty is confidence. It's not just actual physical traits, it's how you conduct yourself.
Okay.
Which I think is really interesting and cool, because it means that not everyone is kind of tied to Eurocentric standards, and to all that comes with traditional notions of beauty. As far as physical traits go though, I think there is some still some thoughts of Eurocentric beauty, you have a thinner nose, you have fuller lips but not too full, quote unquote. You kind of fit into those traditional white norms. But yeah, there's still room, and I think that's something that's changing more and more. That there's room for people who don't fall into that.
Do you think that beauty is tied to race in mainstream culture, and how does that affect the way that you look at yourself?
Yeah, definitely I think so. I think it would be kind of difficult to say that it's not, just because centuries of historical notions of beauty just don't go away, and it's always been very tied to race. Black women were never as beautiful as white women in the traditional sense, but obviously that's not true, and it shouldn't be true. That's my take on it. I mean, as a size 16 Black girl, that's obviously way outside of the norms of what beauty is. So I've struggled a lot with it personally. I have insane body image issues, and for a long time I really struggled with how I look to other people rather than how I look to myself. Because I've always been my mother has always been very supportive of me. And how I look, because I look a lot like her, so of course she's gonna be supportive, right? And I always found that I was beautiful, but in other people's eyes I wasn't. So coming to terms with that distinction there was interesting and kind of a long journey.
Yeah. So the next question is, Do you believe that your makeup has influence from your cultural background? How?
So I'm from two cultures with very rich brown skin and all that comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean by all that comes with it is like dark marks, like acne scars and stuff, right? Which can like be kind of weird because you don't see them in normal beauty. But the makeup in for some people in those cultures is very heavy and it covers up all that skin and all those imperfections. For me, I kind of took the opposite approach. I used to be really into makeup and like a full face like every single day, like a full face, like with baking and like everything, right? Mm-hmm. So eventually I got to the point where like I didn't want to hide what my mother gave me, if that makes sense. Like it's her skin, it's my dad's skin, it's much more than like a dark mark here or there. It's like that's my skin tone and I don't want to cover it up anymore by putting on several layers of foundation. So I've gotten much more like used to like a more minimalist approach to makeup, like in contrast to those cultures, like you're watching right now, but like I do like a little concealer. Like I'm really just doing that for the video because like I don't like, sometimes I struggle with like how my dark marks look. But it's only concealer. I don't do foundation anymore. I do like powder, but like really that's like to kind of even it out overall, but let the real skin show through, if that makes sense.
Do you feel that you use makeup to fit a societal standard of beauty, or is it more of an avenue for self-expression?
I like to think that I've kind of moved away from using makeup as primarily a tool for societal acceptance. I have a very stressful life, and like I view it more as something that I do for myself rather than something that I do for other people now. And I mean, it might not come off that way, but like today was the first time in a couple weeks that like I showed up to like the SGA office without makeup on. And like somebody was like, "You look tired," and I was like, "Yeah, I just didn't really have the energy for that self-care today." And viewing it more as like something that I do for me has really helped my mindset.
Does makeup affect your self-confidence?
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like when I'm trying to like really feel great about myself, I'll put on a little bit more makeup. Like I'll do like eyeliner and stuff. And yeah, I think it does give me that boost, but it's not like the only thing anymore that's giving me that boost.
You mentioned like the kind of shift from doing it to please others to doing it to pleasing yourself. Do you think there's some kind of change that happened, or something that you can kind of explain that kind of helped you reach that point?
Yeah. So it kind of happened around the same time that I stopped straightening my hair. So I have very curly natural hair. It's pretty long, whatever, right? And for most of high school, I would straighten it like weekly. So like that's just like how my hair was, right? Like everybody saw that like I had straight hair, and like it was that. And eventually I just got really tired of doing it. It was like a lot of energy and time and stuff, and a lot of maintenance. And I got really tired of doing it, and I was like, why am I not letting my heritage show? So I stopped straightening it, and with that I also just kind of stopped putting on so much makeup, if that makes sense. But that was my senior year of high school, and then freshman year of college, I got to UMD, and I was like, there's nothing like grounding me here, right? I need something to do in the morning before like I go to class and like have a really busy day and stuff. So I jumped back into makeup after like a 3-month break, basically. And I got really creative with my makeup. And that allowed me to I got creative in different ways. Like, I wasn't putting on so much foundation, but I was like really experimenting with like eyeshadow. And kind of figuring that not everything has to be all about skin, but it can also be like your eyeshadow, your lipstick. All these things are like They're just different ways to kind of express yourself and add some variety into like that self-care.
Who taught you about makeup and how to do it?
My mom told me do's and don'ts of being a woman of color in makeup. Like, don't shop at this brand. They don't offer like options for us. Your makeup should never be too orange. So lots of that kind of stuff I got from her. The do's that I did get were from like YouTube, from TV, from friends too. I had a lot of friends who were like really into makeup. So we would like do each other's makeup and stuff. I did a couple of my friends' makeup for prom, and like it was a lot of fun like being able to like interact with them in that way. But yeah, just kind of like word of mouth, if that makes sense.
Can you describe the different phases that you went through in terms of makeup styles?
Sure. Yeah, so the first one that I went to when I was like 12 or 13 was like, I'm just gonna cover everything up. Because of course 12 and 13-year-olds are like just not super secure. So I would wear like really heavy eyeliner and like lots and lots of like really badly matched foundation and stuff. And that was the first phase, and I was really just trying to like do something with my face to make myself feel more secure. So that was the first phase. Second phase was like when I was like 15 or 16. That's when I got really into like YouTube and Instagram and stuff. So being able to like learn from makeup gurus and like being able to learn from like makeup gurus and like people who are like experts on the topic made me get really interested in like refining my technique. And like I went through a lot of like different phases within that one too. Like it wasn't a super easy journey, but like I eventually landed at like it's the technique that matters, not the products. Because like I bought so much stuff. Oh my god. Like I still have some of it like at my house, and like I just bought way too much makeup. Like literally, like I was Sephora VIP for 4 years in a row. VIP Rouge, like $1,000 a year. That was just like unsustainable, and like I totally recognized that while it was happening. But like that was just unsustainable. Plus like I got into like older makeup gurus, like actual professional, older makeup gurus, and then actual makeup artists, like trained makeup artists, who are they're not about the product, they're about how you do it. They're about how you actually use it. So being a younger person myself, it was like kind of refreshing to hear that like I didn't have to spend billions of dollars on makeup. That like if I tried and I practiced and stuff, then like it wouldn't really matter what the product was as long as I knew how to use it. So that was really helpful for me. After that, I like I said, I went through senior year and I was like, I'm gonna stop doing like so much base makeup, and that was cool. And then freshman year of high school, I got really back into like creative eyeshadow, lipstick, using makeup in ways that's like that's not the way the product is supposed to be used. Like I just used a blush for my eyeshadow. And that's not something that like a lot of people do, but like there are no rules in makeup. Like it's completely arbitrary. So that was nice. And I'm at the place now where I'm pretty comfortable in my skin. I do it because I like it. And I've like significantly cut back on like creativity, if that makes any sense. I haven't worn eyeshadow in like a good 6 months. Like this is the first time I'm putting any like colored powder on my eyes, because like why not? And like sometimes I'll like wear a really bold lipstick, but more often than not, like I do like a My Lips But Better lipstick, just because like I know that like I don't have a lot of time. I know what works for me now. Like I have like a very set routine. I mean, I only like very, very rarely like move out of it. But I think that's where I'm at now. I'm comfortable with my makeup routine, and like I'm not super looking to like branch out. But like I know if I do that, like I know what I'm doing, if that makes sense.
Do you have any like recommendations for the kinds of brands that you're using?
Yeah. So I really like, well, again, with the base makeup point, like, because I do less of it, it doesn't quite, it doesn't really matter as much if the shade matches too well. Like, what is this? This is Sasha, compact powder. It's just, like, a very thin powder that, like, the shade isn't the important thing. It's, like, the amount of coverage for me. I like Sasha. I like Fenty a lot. I like Beauty Bakery. I generally try to go with, like, women of color owned brands because I find that the shade range is just generally better. Outside of women of color owned brands, I really like Cover FX. They have a fantastic shade range. They have olive tones, which, like, is practically unheard of in, like, mainstream makeup. What else? Anastasia, Beverly Hills is pretty good. Let me think. Yeah, I think those are, like, my main ones that I, like, gravitate towards.
Do you have any advice for people who are kind of struggling with some similar things that you mentioned before, and how to kind of be more comfortable with themselves?
Yeah, I think kind of one thing that I did starting my junior year of high school was I would take 10 minutes every day to look in the mirror at myself without makeup, and, like, in a sports bra and, like, short shorts. Like, that just helped me really, like, get comfortable with myself. Like, it feels really stupid to say out loud, but, like, look at yourself for, like, 5 to 10 minutes every day. Get comfortable with, like, how you look from the side, how you look from the front. Like, what parts of you do you immediately are like, I don't like that, or what parts of you are things that, like, people like about you and that you like about yourself. So for me, taking that time every day helped me identify, like, okay, my brows are kind of wonky, they're not super even, but, like, it's okay because I'm the only person who looks at me for 5 to 10 minutes a day like that, and, like, really analyzes. Like, no one else is like, I'm gonna stare at her for the next 10 minutes, right? You pointing out your own flaws kind of helps you recognize that, like, no one else is really looking that hard, and that's important. What else? I kept a running, like, list of like, compliments that I got about myself. Like, like, I have really nice teeth, right? Because I had braces for, like, 10 years. But, like, people say, like, I smile and people are like, you have really nice teeth. And, like, I'll write it down to save for a rainy day. And, yeah, just kind of be kind to yourself, too. Like, that goes in with the other things. Like, no one else is looking as hard at you as you do, basically. Like, ever. Like, no one can see that eyebrow hair that you didn't pluck. Like, it's kind of like you have to get up close and personal with yourself to be comfortable with yourself. At least that's how I did it.
So you mentioned that you had a YouTube channel. Could you kind of talk more about that?
Yeah. This was during my senior year, I think, of high school. And continuing into my freshman year of college. During that period where, like, I was trying to figure out why it was taking me so much time to, like, do my makeup and hair and stuff, and, like, getting comfortable with who I was and everything that came with that. So I kind of started, like, on a whim. I was like, I used to be, like, very, very good at makeup, and, like, people could tell. they would always like be like, hey, you should start like a makeup channel. I would watch it, blah, blah, blah. So eventually I was like, okay, why not, during that period. So I did Get Ready With Me's, I think I did a product review or two, but yeah, I just kind of wanted to have an outlet for how I felt about makeup, and not necessarily like injecting like those like very highbrow concepts of like what does it mean to wear makeup, but like just being able to enjoy it, you know.
Yeah, could you just basically kind of explain what you did with your makeup today?
Yes. So okay, I started with Neutrogena eye cream. Then I did Embryolisse Light Cream Concentrate for my moisturizer. I let that sit for 2-3 minutes. I then used Becca Ever Matte primer because I have super oily skin. So I just wanted to keep that shine down. After that, I set my primer. I always set my primer. This is like one of the number one tips that I learned in my whole journey. Like, always set your primer with a transparent powder. It just makes it last so much longer, especially if you have oily skin and you're using like a mattifying base. So that was good. What else did I do? I set my primer. Then I went in on top with my concealer. I just kind of dotted that around my face. Nothing too major. I really blended that out to make sure that I was actually like doing something with it, and it not just like sitting in one place on my skin, because that's always the worst. What else? I set that down. Then I used, I set that down with the translucent powder. Then I went in with the Sacha Buttercup powder on top. That's like colored, it's kind of light coverage, but I really like kind of work it into the skin. Using that all around my face. I used a couple different bronzers and a contour powder, and mixed them all together to do the perimeter of my face, since I find that everything just looks better if it's like a little darker on the edges, if that makes sense. What else? I did some fixing spray with MAC Fix Plus. I don't really do setting spray anymore. I found that it made my skin really like uncomfortable to be in, if that makes any sense. Like it wasn't like doing anything for me, but making me feel like uncomfortable. So I did that. I went over it again with the Sacha Buttercup powder, just so that I could actually like retain some of that coverage and mattifying effects, basically. I then did a little eyeshadow with Makeup Forever blush sample. Basically, literally just like taking that on a fluffy brush and running that all over my lid and blending it out a little, then cleaning up a little with that Sacha Buttercup powder, as I'm doing right now, because sometimes eyeshadow's messy. And it's okay. Like, what else? I did my brows. I really just do I do a line under my brows with a brow powder, with a brow, like, what is it called?
Pencil.
Yeah, a pencil. With a brow pencil, and then I used a brow gel. The gel is NYX. It's my absolute favorite. Cannot recommend enough. Literally, my brow stayed in place the entire day. One time I wore it for like 16 hours, and it was fine. Wow. Yeah. So yeah, that was that. Then I did mascara. I cleaned up a little after I did my brows again with that Sacha Buttercup powder. I did mascara. I did 3 different. So the way I do mascara is like very, very weird, because I wear glasses, so I don't do false lashes ever at all. So like my eyelashes have to be like really good, just like on their own. So I do a primer, I do a regular mascara. And then I do a waterproof one on top because I also have super watery eyes. And sometimes it rains and stuff, so just want to be covered. I went in and cleaned up around my eyes again because it really never hurts to kind of know where your eyeshadow ends. As weird as that sounds. Oh, hello. Aha, okay. That was a hair from my brush. Now I'm doing lip liner, just brown lip liner. I really like glosses now. I used to do like matte liquid lipstick all the time and stuff, but like it got really like crusty and I was like, I don't really want to do this anymore. And I find that like I look younger when I have gloss on. And I like that. And it's like super low maintenance too. Yeah, and after I put this gloss on, I will be done. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay, thank you so much for staying tuned for the whole video, and I hope you enjoyed and learned a lot from Serena, and stay tuned for the next episode. Bye!